Hello everyone, we're finally back. There's been a huge gap in what we had intended to film each week because so much has been happening. We're now in the autumn, just coming into the autumn, and we seem to have missed an entire summer, don't we? We feel like we've missed a whole season. And the main reason is that back in May, sadly, I lost my mum. Now, my mum was probably our biggest follower of chateaudiy.
She was a follower, inspiration.
She was literally the inspiration behind us coming and living in a chateau. When she first showed us Escape to the Chateau on television as her favourite programme, and we sat and watched it and both looked at each other and went, wow, we would love to do that. So Mummy came down and stayed with us last year for 3 months and loved it. And very unexpectedly, we lost her in May of this year. So that knocked us for six a bit. And also we had our first 2 weddings and it was all mixed up at the same time. So it caused a lot of angst and confusion. Anyway, the good news is we've been through 2 of our weddings, our first 2 weddings, which both went really well. It was a challenge with the weather on the first one, wasn't it?
Yeah.
It rained all day. But the weddings were smallish. The first one was only a couple and their 3 children.
It was a challenge, full stop.
It was, but it was very stressful all the same because we'd never met the couple and they'd never met us, obviously. So we were a bit stressed, both parties, and actually when we met them, they were so delightful. We got on really well and they loved everything we put on for them. So it all ended up turning out really well for our starter wedding. And then we had a friend in the village who got married and 98 people came for a pre-wedding meal in our hunting lodge. So we feel quite happy that we've learned a lot this summer and now we're wedding ready. Chateau looked gorgeous, didn't she?
Yeah, well, we have more confidence now to have people coming in a bigger scale.
That's right. I don't think we'd realised how nervous we would feel. And I think it was because we're so used to chatting to people who understand Escape to the Chateau and chateaudiy, and they understand the whole journey. But when someone comes from the outside who doesn't know the show, then we suddenly realised it's a whole different ballgame. We had an experience last year with some French people who came to stay, not knowing anything about the chateau. So that opened our eyes to a different way of looking at the chateau. And where we have graffiti, we sort of learned to live with it and realised actually that's not acceptable if you've got guests coming. So we've brushed up the chateau, and this room is our first floor landing. You would call it our second floor landing, wouldn't you?
I would call it the second floor landing, yes.
Sion always counts the basement as the first floor, which is true, you can live in the basement, whereas I always think of the ground floor. So this is our grand landing, and it was covered in graffiti. So as you can see, we've painted it, and it's looking far more respectable now. And our next project?
Next project is doing the 3rd floor in my view, 2nd floor in Alison's view. We're going to put 3 en-suites in there.
We're upping our game a bit. We've decided that we want all 18 bedrooms to be a collection of bedrooms with en-suite bathrooms. Having had guests, we realise how important it is that everybody wants their own bathroom nowadays. And I don't blame them, I think it's a really nice idea. So we're going to lose some of the smaller bedrooms and make them into bathrooms. And we've also been exploring something for the future, haven't we? Putting in a lift.
Yeah, one of the things, you always wanted a lift. Even if we're not going to use it, but Alison wants a lift. We've managed to locate the best place for the lift. Is not going to make us moving walls or anything like that. And it's funny how it's actually the space exists for the lift.
It's true, isn't it? We have actually got the ideal spaces for the lift. And ironically, one of the spaces on the ground floor is a bathroom that Sion put in for my mum. He put in this wonderful low-level shower so that Mummy could have her own little apartment on the ground floor where she stayed when she came to see us last year. And having finished that little shower room, we've now made a decision, because that shower room, on top of it is our linen cupboard, and on top of that is a little room that we were going to use an ensuite, And now we've decided to leave it because if you stack the lift one on top of the other, that would be the ideal place to put it. So we've sort of made a decision for the future where we're going to prepare the spaces. I don't think we can afford to put a lift in just yet, but if we prepare the spaces, then at least we're not planning and then taking things out. We do have to remove the bathroom on the ground floor.
Yeah, what happened is we did think about putting another bathroom in the top floor in the same location because it works. The plumbing is all going through that wall.
Yeah.
But now we're going to change it, so we have changed everything.
We'll keep the little room as a potential lift space and we'll make an ensuite somewhere else. We've got lots of other things to show you. We're not going to do it all on this particular vlog, but it's really just a catch-up vlog to say our intention of doing one a week was rather thrown into disarray.
Yeah, and we still exist.
We're still here, yes. And we're back to work. It's now the autumn, so we're going to have the winter ahead of us. We've got lots of interior work to do. The garden's coming on really well. We had to shelve the swimming pool this year because the ground has just been so wet. We've had such a short summer. It didn't really start summer until the 1st of July. And ground was so wet, we couldn't do the wildflower meadow at the back of the chateau. We couldn't do the swimming pool. Everything's clay soil here and it's almost impossible. Or rocks. It's one extreme or the other. And it's almost impossible to go on the land when it's so wet. So we've got a lot of things to do for next year. And we have one wedding coming up next year. But after that, we're really open for weddings in 2026. So there's still lots to do. But we thought we'd give a quick catch up on where we are and why we haven't been around. And hopefully from now on, we'll be able to get back into a routine of giving you more information and showing you around and really sharing our projects.
Catch up.
Yeah, sharing our life here in France. So bye for now and see you soon.
Bye-bye.